Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 here on Rajya Sabha TV. Glad you could join us this Saturday evening. I'm Tracy Shilshi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you the top stories from India and across the world. Let's start with the headlines. Pro-Jallikattu protesters in Tamil Nadu taste victory. Vidyasagar Rao, the governor, promulgates an ordinance lifting a ban on the bull taming sport. Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam to inaugurate the festival in Madurai tomorrow. Pakistan hands over Chandu Babulal Chavan to Indian authorities. 22-year-old soldier from Maharashtra had inadvertently crossed the LOC on the 29th of September after India's surgical strikes. Cold wave conditions disrupt normal life in northern India. Met Department predicts more snow and rainfall in the Kashmir Valley for the next 6 days. And the world watches Donald Trump's inaugural speech promising America First policies. The new US president signs executive order to roll back Obamacare. Many cities witness protests. Speaking of protests, our top story this evening: after a 3-year-long ban, Jallikattu will finally return to Tamil Nadu. Vidyasagar Rao, the governor, on Saturday approved an executive order by the state government which will allow the bull taming sport to be held in Madurai tomorrow. Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam will inaugurate the festival. However, thousands of people who are protesting at Chennai's Marina Beach for a week now say that they will not disperse until the ban is officially lifted.
Victory at last for the pro-Jallikattu protesters in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu Governor Vidyasagar Rao on Saturday promulgated the ordinance lifting the ban on the bull taming sport. The state government announced that Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam will inaugurate the festival on Sunday. Things moved fast after the centre cleared the Jallikattu draft ordinance on Friday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself stated that all efforts are being made to fulfill the cultural aspirations of the people of Tamil Nadu. Modi also assured that the central government is fully committed to the progress of Tamil Nadu. Despite the PM's statements, the protests continued on the Marina Beach for the 5th day in a row, with demonstrators saying they will not budge before a formal order was issued. AIA-DMK MPs of both the houses met President Pranab Mukherjee again on Saturday, seeking his intervention into the matter.
For the conduct of Jallikattu.
The non-stop protests have seen commercial establishments and schools closed across Tamil Nadu for almost a week now. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Another one of our headline stories: Pakistani authorities today released an Indian soldier, Chandu Chavan, who inadvertently crossed the border in 2016. Chavan was handed over to Indian authorities through the Attari-Wagah border. A 22-year-old soldier from the 37 Rashtriya Rifles, Chandu had mistakenly crossed the LOC just hours after India conducted the surgical strikes on terrorist bases across the border. Earlier, Union Minister of State for Defence Subhash Bhamre had said that Pakistan had assured that Chavan will be released after an inquiry. Pakistan has called Chavan's release a goodwill gesture. All right, looking forward to more reactions on that story. Meanwhile, let's get you all the election-related news now. The Election Commission has pulled up the Niti Aayog for holding special Gram Sabhas in the 5 poll-bound states without seeking its permission. In fact, it has said that such event can only be organized after the elections are over. In a letter to the Niti Aayog Vice Chairman, the Commission said that while it is organizing special Gram Sabhas across the country on the 26th of January to outline priorities of citizens, including in poll-bound Goa, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Manipur and Punjab, it has not endorsed a copy to it as mandated under the Model Code of Conduct. The Commission said a prior approval of the Model Code angle should have been taken. The EC made it clear that the program cannot be held on Republic Day in these states and should only be organized once the elections are over. The issue was raised by the Chief Electoral Officer of Goa, who had flagged it before the poll watchdog. Today is the last day for the candidature withdrawal in Punjab and Goa. Polling in both the states will take place in a single phase on the 4th of February and counting will be on the 11th of March. In Punjab, about 1,243 nomination papers were found valid, whereas 695 papers were rejected after scrutiny. Nominations began with the issue of notification on the 11th of January, and the last date of making nominations was the 18th of January. The state will witness a multi-cornered contest on all the 117 assembly seats. While Congress is going alone on all the 117 seats, ruling Shiromani Akali Dal is contesting on 94 seats and its ally BJP on 23 seats. Aam Aadmi Party has fielded its candidates on 110 seats and its ally the Lok Insaf Party on 7 seats. In Goa, 405 nominations were filed for 40 constituencies. Nominations began with the issue of notification on the 11th of January and the last date of making nominations was the 18th of January. Goa is going to see a three-pronged fight with the ruling BJP, opposition Congress and the new entrant Aam Aadmi Party pitted against each other. Now to Uttar Pradesh, where Bahujan Samaj Party Supremo Mayawati today urged Muslim voters to cast their votes for her party in order to defeat the BJP. Addressing the media in Lucknow, she took a dig at the SP Congress alliance, saying that both parties are like sinking ships.
BSP chief Mayawati welcomed Mulayam loyalist Ambika Chaudhary into her party on Saturday. Targeting the ruling Samajwadi Party, she claimed that party founder Mulayam Singh Yadav had sacrificed his brother Shivpal Yadav for Akhilesh Yadav. Calling the rift in SP clan an orchestrated drama, Mayawati accused the Akhilesh Yadav government of shielding criminals and communal forces.
श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव यहाँ अपने पुत्र मोह के कारण पिछले कुछ महीनों से किस्म किस्म की नाटकबाजी आदि लगातार करते रहे हैं ताकि अपने पुत्र की सरकार की यहाँ सभी कमियों व घोर विफलताओं के गहरे धब्बों व दागों पर से लोगों का ध्यान बांटा जा सके.
Mayawati didn't spare the prospective SP Congress alliance either. Calling both parties sinking ships, she termed the partnership a selfish move by the Congress.
कांग्रेस पार्टी का भी असली व घोर स्वार्थी चेहरा भी बेनकाब होकर अब जनता के सामने आ गया है और अब इस पार्टी ने सपा सरकार के इस दागी चेहरे के आगे नतमस्तक होकर इनके साथ अपना गठबंधन करना भी स्वीकार कर लिया है. वो नहीं हुआ, गठबंधन एक अलग चीज है.
कांग्रेस के पास कितने उम्मीदवार थे इसकी सूची हम बाद में उनको भिजवा देंगे. एक एक क्षेत्र में 15-15, 20-20 उम्मीदवार हैं, मजबूत उम्मीदवार हैं, अच्छे उम्मीदवार हैं.
Mayawati also urged the minorities to keep their votes intact by voting for the BSP in order to defeat the BJP. She also targeted the BJP stand for reservation for Dalits, tribal and OBCs. The BJP denied her charge.
इसका लगातार उल्लंघन कर रही हैं, जाति के सवाल उठाती हैं, मजहब के सवाल उठाती हैं. भारतीय जनता पार्टी की दृष्टि में यह सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के ताजे आदेश का उल्लंघन है, कंटेम्प्ट है और आचार संहिता की धारा 1 का भी कंटेम्प्ट है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी संविधान में दिए गए किसी भी वर्ग के अधिकार उन सबके प्रति आदर भाव से युक्त है.
At the Jaipur Literature Festival on Friday, RSS ideologue Manmohan Vaidya had sought a review of the reservation policy, stating that even Ambedkar said its continuance in perpetuity was not good. He later clarified that reservation should continue as long as there is discrimination, but sought a time-bound probe as to why its benefits had not reached the targeted people. With inputs from Panchanan Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Election Commission has censured Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for his bribe remarks made at a poll rally in Goa. The EC maintained that if he continues to violate the model code, stern action would be taken against him and his party, including suspension or withdrawal of recognition to the Aam Aadmi Party. While issuing him show cause notice on the 16th of January, the Commission had quoted him as saying at an election rally that Congress and BJP will come to distribute money. Reacting to the order, Kejriwal said that the EC is wrong and he will challenge it in court. More national news now. In cold wave conditions continue to disrupt normal life in northern India. The Met Department has predicted more snow and rainfall in the Kashmir Valley for the next 6 days, while it says that western disturbances could cause a further dip in the temperature.
People across northern India battling icy winds as the cold wave tightened its grip on the region. In Delhi, residents huddled around bonfires as the minimum temperature dropped to 6 degrees Celsius on Friday.
कभी आग जला के सेकते हैं, कभी कंबल ओढ़ के बैठते हैं। परेशानी बहुत तरह का है, हमें नहीं, पब्लिक को भी, जितने भी पब्लिक हैं, हर एक आदमी को पटरी पे चाहे आसपास चाहे कोई भी घर से जल्दी बाहर निकलना ना चाहते।
Train services continue to remain disrupted, with 30 of them delayed, 4 rescheduled and 5 cancelled due to fog or other operational reasons. Cold wave conditions intensified in Shimla that recorded a minimum temperature of -6.4 degrees.
ठंड बहुत है, ना पानी है, ना लाइट है, ना कुछ है, बड़ी दिक्कत है। सड़कें वो जाम पड़ी हुई हैं, कुछ भी नहीं है।
Kashmir Valley prepared for yet another spell of wet weather as the Met Department predicted rains and snow for the next 6 days. The forecast prompted the divisional administration to issue directions for taking precautionary measures. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are more updates from across the country and nationwide. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today greeted the 3 northeastern states of Tripura, Manipur and Meghalaya on their statehood day and hoped they continue to achieve heights in all-round development. In his message to the people of Tripura, he prayed for the state's all-round growth. Modi gave his best wishes for the development journey of Meghalaya and also hoped that Manipur remains blessed with joy and prosperity. 6 CPM activists have been arrested for the murder of a BJP worker in Kerala's Kannur district. Santosh, the 52-year-old leader, died in hospital after he was hacked brutally, allegedly by CPM activists while he was alone at his home. The case is being investigated by a special police team led by District Police Chief. The police clarified that it was an incident of political murder. Bihar today claimed to have formed the world's largest human chain, with Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, political leaders cutting across party lines and citizens holding each other's hand to reaffirm the commitment towards liquor ban. The 45-minute-long human chain started early today at the historic Gandhi Maidan when Chief Minister Nitish Kumar floated colourful balloons. The human chain is estimated to cover a distance of 11,292 kilometres, involving 2 crore citizens. Meanwhile, the previous record was of 1,050 kilometers long human chain, which was formed in Bangladesh in 2004.
For making the world's best missile system.
Welcome back. Our top international story. Donald Trump has been sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. Within hours of taking oath, Trump signed an executive order aimed at minimizing the economic...
Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear...
that I will faithfully execute...
that I will faithfully execute...
the office of President of the United States...
the office of President of the United States...
and will, to the best of my ability...
and will, to the best of my ability...
preserve, protect, and defend...
preserve, protect, and defend...
the Constitution of the United States...
the Constitution of the United States...
so help me God...
so help me God...
Congratulations.
As the clock struck noon in America, power passed from one man to another, with Donald Trump taking over as the 45th president of the country. Barack Obama passing the baton after 8 years. Former presidents and first ladies, including George Bush and his wife Laura, as well as Jimmy Carter, were in attendance. After the ceremonial oath, Trump gave a 16-minute inaugural speech where he painted a bleak picture of his nation and the world. The 70-year-old railed against the U.S. establishment for not serving the American people adequately.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. We are one nation, and their pain is our pain. Their dreams are our dreams, and their success will be our success. We share one heart, one home, and one glorious destiny. The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans.
He spoke of abandoned factories, rampant crime and a failed education system, pledging that his presidency would bring about change.
We will reinforce old alliances and form new ones and unite the civilized world against radical Islamic terrorism, which we will eradicate completely from the face of the earth. At the bedrock of our politics will be a total allegiance to the United States of America. And through our loyalty to our country, we will rediscover our loyalty to each other. When you open your heart to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice.
While thousands of Trump supporters traveled across the country to witness the occasion from the National Mall, there was a crowd of protesters too. 217 people were arrested as violence broke out. 6 police officers also suffered minor injuries. Protests were also reported worldwide, including in Spain, Mexico and London.
And throughout the city, we have seen hundreds upon hundreds of protesters who have respected our laws and made their voices heard through nonviolent acts of protest. Unfortunately, a small group of people have engaged in vandalism as well as violence against our law enforcement officers. This type of destruction and this type of violence against people in Washington, D.C. will not be tolerated.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi joined world leaders in congratulating Trump. In a series of tweets, Prime Minister Modi said he looked forward to working with President Trump to further deepen India-US ties and realize the full potential of our cooperation. Meanwhile, US President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence waved goodbye as the Obamas and Bidens left the Capitol. Trump supporters were inspired and encouraged by the tone the new US president took shortly after being sworn into office. Shortly after the ceremony, Trump was seen signing his first official actions as the 45th president. He sent his cabinet nominations to the Senate as well as a signed proclamation for a National Day of Patriotism. Trump takes power at a time when the country appears to be deeply divided. He enters the presidency with historically low approval ratings. Trump has vowed to roll back many of his predecessors' policies, including repealing Obama's signature healthcare law and building a wall along the US-Mexico border. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And anti-Trump protests were witnessed outside the US as well. In fact, coinciding with the anti-Trump protests, women's marches being held across the US, also New Zealand and Australia demanding equal pay for women across the world. Protests were being held in the UK as well.
Donald Trump's first day in office greeted with protests the world over. Thousands of demonstrators joined the first of many women's marches in Sydney, a show of disapproval that was repeated in many other cities.
The message today is not just to Trump. The message today is to all the regressive political agendas around the globe, including those in Australia, that we're not going to be silent while there is still bigotry and sexism and racism that's part and parcel in national policy. So this is not an anti-Trump march per se. This is a pro-equality march and a pro-human rights march.
In Sydney, about 3,000 people, both men and women, gathered for a rally in Hyde Park before marching to the US consulate downtown.
Well, look, really, it's a protest against misogyny. It's a protest against the rise of fascism in Western politics. It's a protest, we're protesting for inclusiveness and equality. And that's really what today is all about.
Exactly, and we want to send a sign to the women in the US that we're all in this together.
What happens next is up to us.
Protests were also held in 4 cities in New Zealand, where people marched peacefully. In the UK, banners were draped across London's Tower Bridge expressing displeasure at the inauguration of Donald Trump as US president.
Bridges, not walls. Building bridges, not walls. People of the world where you can.
Protesters on the drawbridge with its 2 Gothic-style towers held up a pink letter reading "Act Now" soon after sunrise. Similar banners were also put up near the British Parliament.
We are just here to show our support to groups who are under attack in the UK, across Europe and in the US as well, and to reject the rise of what we feel is very divisive far-right politics.
Speaking about the Trump's inauguration in Myanmar capital Yangon, British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said he is optimistic about Britain-US ties after the inauguration of President Donald Trump.
Our new president has made it very clear that he wants to put Britain at the front of the line for a new trade deal. Obviously that's extremely exciting and important. The crucial, and he's very keen to get it done as fast as possible, very optimistic that it can be done very soon. I think he said, within a short period after the exit from the EU, and that's great.
While leaders of the far right in the West are enthusiastic in congratulating Trump, the response among Europe's establishment was less sympathetic. While many found Trump's inauguration speech downright hostile, others said Europe must take its destiny and security in its own hand. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. At least 21 people were killed and 40 more wounded in an explosion at a busy vegetable market in Pakistan's Parachinar city. The explosion took place while the market was crowded with retailers buying fruits and vegetables from a wholesale shop. Security forces have cordoned off the area and a search operation is currently underway. At least 2 people were killed and 10 others are missing after a hotel in central China was buried in a landslide. Crews were working to dig out those trapped in the Mirage Hotel that was struck by the disaster on Friday. 3 people have been rescued so far. The cause of the collapse is under investigation. 4 more people were rescued overnight from a hotel in Italy which was destroyed by an avalanche 3 days ago. 9 people have been recovered alive from the Rigopiano Hotel in the eastern Abruzzo region. At least 15 people are still missing though after the avalanche that came after several earthquakes and heavy snowfall. 4 bodies have been found so far. All right, now some sports. And at the Australian Open, Rafael Nadal and Milos Raonic overcame tough challenges in the 3rd round to advance to the last 16. Meanwhile, women's world number 1 Serena Williams had an easy outing as she progressed to the 4th round. It was also a good day for India as well, as both Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna reached the 2nd round in the mixed doubles category with their respective partners.
India's Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza advanced to the 2nd round of the mixed doubles category with their partners. The second seed duo of Sania Mirza and Croatian Ivan Dodig scored a 7-5, 6-4 set victory over German-Croatian pair of Laura Siegemund and Mate Pavic. Bopanna, however, was pushed into 3 sets with his Canadian partner Gabriela Dabrowski. The Indian-Canadian pair defeated Kiwi-Slovenian team of Michael Venus and Katriana Srebotnik 6-4, 7-6, 10-7. In men's single, world number 1 Rafael Nadal survived a scare from Russian teenager Alexander Zverev in the 3rd round. In a gripping contest, the Spaniard came from behind to win the contest in 5 sets, 4-6, 6-3, 6-7, 6-3, 6-2. The 14-time Grand Slam champion will next face France Gaël Monfils in the last 16th. World number 3 Milos Raonic also had to toil hard for his win over Frenchman Joël Simon in the 3rd round. The 26-year-old Canadian overcame a stiff challenge from his opponent in 4 sets, 6-2, 7-6, 3-6, 6-3. Giant killer Denis Istomin, who stunned Novak Djokovic in round 2, produced another superb effort to beat Spanish 30th seed Pablo Carreño Busta in 5 sets. In the women's single, world number 2 Serena Williams eased past fellow American Nicole Gibbs to reach the 4th round. The 6-time Australian Open champion won 6-1, 6-3 and will next face Czech's 16th seed Barbara Krejcikova. Russian 30th seed Ekaterina Makarova came through a dramatic match to beat Slovakian 6th seed Dominika Kubelkova 6-2, 6-7, 6-3. She will next play British number Johanna Konta, who prevailed over former world number 1 Karolina Wozniacki in straight sets. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's what we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.